The character who arrived in Season 3 of The Boys and instantly became a fan favorite, a guy who is the most perfect representation of the real-world USA, and the fact that he drops a cuss word every 2 sentences makes him even more interesting. Right now, Soldier Boy is one of the most powerful beings in The Boys. But what if I told you that Soldier Boy is nothing but the Homelander of the past? Yes, guys, Soldier Boy is the exact same softest, weakest boy that he accused Homelander of being. And you all have no idea that Soldier Boy, who acts like this massive hero, is actually just as weak, cowardly, and a complete failure. Just like Stan Edgar said to Homelander, "You are simply a bad product." Soldier Boy is such a soft guy that he gave Homelander the V1 for Stormfront, which he never actually wanted to give. And later, that same son of his, Homelander, knocked him unconscious and threw him right back into the pod. Soldier Boy is just as big of a failure as Homelander is. So today, I am going to shed light on all these things, and somehow the upcoming Vought Rising story will also focus on this, and hints of all these things were given to us in Season 5 as well. So guys, without any further delay, let's get started. Point number 1, the attention seeker. Now, I do not know if you guys noticed this pattern or not, but Soldier Boy is a massive validation seeker, exactly like Homelander himself, because this guy was the poster boy for Vought America and superheroes from the time of World War II all the way through the Cold War to the early 80s, but still, when he was revived in the modern day, he wanted to become the poster boy for Vought and the Seven all over again. We also saw this in Season 5, that even today, Soldier Boy wants his old heroic days back, where he was #1 and used to be the most celebrated face of Vought America. And he even says that he wants to be #1 again, and he can become #1 without killing Homelander. And we get the proof of all this in Season 3. Yes guys, Season 3, Episode 8, when Soldier Boy and Billy are talking to each other about their pasts. Soldier Boy reveals how many movies Vought made to portray Soldier Boy as an underdog from the underground. In their movies, they showed that Soldier Boy came from a poor family in Philadelphia and rose from the streets to become a star, while the reality was that Soldier Boy's father owned all the mills in Philadelphia, and he hated Soldier Boy, or rather Ben, so much that he considered him a total failure. He then sent Ben to a boarding school, and Ben was kicked out of there too, because he could not survive there. And because of this, his dad's hatred towards Ben grew even more. Meanwhile, Ben's older brother was an overachiever who had earned everything through his hard work and had also joined the army. And then World War II started, and to please his father, he talked to some of his dad's army friends, enrolled himself in the army, and got into Dr. Vought's program. There, he was given V1 and he became Soldier Boy. But even after all this, Soldier Boy's father did not hate him any less. On the contrary, he got even more furious, saying that you will always remain a loser among losers, because what you did was take a shortcut, and real men do not take shortcuts. So Soldier Boy's life has been no different from Homelander's. He too lived his entire childhood with an attention deficit, and that lack of attention and lack of a good upbringing turned him into a narcissistic attention seeker, and Vought just fed into that narcissism. They made house-pay movies and ran brand campaigns portraying him as America's greatest hero. And now, when Soldier Boy came back and saw that Homelander is getting all that treatment, Soldier Boy just could not tolerate it. And deep down, he wants all that treatment, that PR, and that popularity back. And we saw hints of that in Season 5. But now, if you ask why I am telling you all this, just wait guys, because Soldier Boy is nothing but a fraud. Point number 2, the imposter. Now in The Boys comics, we saw that Soldier Boy was not just one person, but actually 3 different people. The first was during World War II, the second during the Cold War, and the third in the current timeline. But the show changed this, and in the show, this Soldier Boy is the real Soldier Boy. But this real Soldier Boy was just a marketing gimmick, and he has absolutely zero battle experience, and his teammates and rivals used to mock him for this very reason. Because Soldier Boy was basically just a typical rich, spoiled loser who was handed everything on a silver platter. In fact, even during the era of World War II and Payback, Soldier Boy was just a facade, exactly like Trevor Slattery's Mandarin. How so? Let me tell you. So the Generation 1 Supes who were given V1 were 5 people: Liberty, Soldier Boy, Bombsight, Torpedo, and Private Angel. Now Liberty was Clara Vaughn herself, so she was made the symbolic figure of unbound US freedom. If you look at Bombsight's suit, he has the insignia of the US Armed Forces Air Force on his chest. And Bombsight was actually a combat fighter pilot too. Torpedo has a Navy insignia on his suit, and Private Angel has an Armed Forces Medical Support badge on her collar. But Soldier Boy's suit had no badges or insignia whatsoever. And think about it. Even Vought themselves did not consider their own poster boy worthy of any symbolism, but they capitalized on him heavily by making movies, ads, and shows. Now, because Soldier Boy was the most powerful among the rest of the team members, yet his combat experience was zero or practically non-existent, and Soldier Boy himself admits this in front of Queen Maeve during the Fort Harmony scene, we saw that not only Maeve, but even Bombsight hated Soldier Boy so much. So all these clues are pointing in just one direction, that Soldier Boy only called the shots because he was the strongest and the poster boy, but he was never capable, not at all. And this is the reason why everyone in his team except Liberty despised him, and for all these years, even today, he wants to take revenge for that. Soldier Boy's narcissistic nature never changed, and when the Cold War hero came and Vought American gave him a new team named Payback, which included soups like Black Noir, Crimson Countess, and the TNT Twins, Soldier Boy started torturing and using that team to serve himself as well. And because of this, Payback and even Vaughn became so fed up with Soldier Boy that they ran an operation in Nicaragua and sent Soldier Boy there, but it was all a trap so that they could let Soldier Boy get captured by the Russians and they could finally create a new poster boy for Vought under the name of Homelander. So in reality, the story of Soldier Boy that we will now see in Vought Rising will basically be this exact lore, where we will see that Soldier Boy was Homelander even before Homelander was Homelander. That same greed, that same narcissism, that same validation seeker, a person who wants to rob everything. The very person who says that he has a right to every good thing, and in reality, just a fake show-off soldier who has never even seen the face of a real war. And now people are saying that this guy wants to be a good father. What a joke. But come on, let's talk about this father and son dynamic too. And this is point number 3, the generational trauma. So when Soldier Boy was introduced, he makes it obvious how disappointed he is that a pathetic, overpowered loser like Homelander is his son. And this is the exact same treatment that Soldier Boy's own father used to give him. And from then until today, there is the same toxic father and son dynamic between Soldier Boy and Homelander that Soldier Boy himself had with his father, where a son does everything to please his father and become worthy in his eyes, but still, the father just considers him a loser. And we have seen many instances like this, and Soldier Boy is always lashing out at Homelander. But with the new twist that came, has Soldier Boy started loving his son after that? That is not the case, guys. Soldier Boy clearly stated that he does not like Homelander, but his hatred for his son is still less than his love for Stormfront. So he hates Homelander, but he loved Stormfront more. So he gave Homelander the V1 for the sake of Stormfront, not out of any fatherly love, and we saw proof of this in the latest episodes, where Soldier Boy himself accepted that he wants to stay away from Homelander. And when Soldier Boy said, "It is not you, but me," the meaning of that statement was that he has his personal reasons for staying away from Homelander, because if he stayed around Vought and Homelander, a fight between those two for the number 1 spot is inevitable. And for now, he's making the sacrifice because of Clara, but he would not want to drag this matter out. If you look at it, Soldier Boy and Homelander both seem like mirror images of each other. One is a failure of the past, and one is a failure of the present. The only difference is that one hid his pain behind whiskey and fake patriotism, and the other hid it behind a god complex. Now we will have to see whether Vought Rising will be able to show us an even darker side of Soldier Boy or not. Anyway, if you liked the video, be sure to like it and share it, and yes, let me know in the comments whether you think Soldier Boy can be redeemed, or if he was always just a fraud hero. So, thank you for watching, guys.